plenty of that.
No, it's fine. It's what it is. It's, Hi everybody, it's Michael Buckley, and this is my friend Jack Douglas. Hey, Jack.
Hey,
I almost said Zach. Yeah.
I get called Zach all the time.
We've never been on camera together.
Is that right?
We've never, I've always threatened to make a video with you. I've always asked, but you know, you just got a little big for your britches.
I don't know what you're talking about, but no,
we've never been on camera. I've shot some things for you and sent them to you. We've done some long distance collaborations, but this is the first time we've actually been.
What?
There was a photo of us once arm wrestling. I think people
That's
thought we were
right.
very combative.
So
I did. I'm very feisty for a little skinny homosexual. But yeah, no, and so I've always like wanted to make a video with you, and you make such funny videos for people who don't know. Tell people about your series and your channel and all that.
Sure. Well, I have a channel called Jacksfilms on YouTube, and I just do all sorts of funny videos, like sketches, parodies, music videos. I have a series called Yesterday I Asked You, where I ask a question and I find the sassiest answers. I do a series called Jack Ask, where it's my parody of Q&A shows. I have a series called Your Grammar Sucks,
which is very well known. How'd you get the idea for that? Like, that's a great. I want to steal all your ideas. Every time I see your shows, I'm like, I might just start copying your channel.
You have written consent.
Thank you.
Unwritten consent.
How did you get the idea to do that? Just so much grammar, so many problems, and you're like, I need to comment on this.
Honestly, it was back in the day when YouTube channels had comments on the channel.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
People were giving me some nice compliments and feedback, and they were all spelled horribly. Every single one. And I just noticed, I just thought, this is atrocious. I mean, I could make a whole video just making fun of these comments.
Yeah.
So I did. And
it caught on.
Everyone was like, make it a series, do another one, do another one.
Do you think that occasionally people leave you bad comments now on purpose just to get
Not
on
occasionally.
The show? All
Always.
the time, yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I'm on Grindr, which is a homosexual app, and people now know that I screenshot in comments, so people will do it, and then they're like, can I be on your show? I'm like, well, that's not really my point of doing this. Right. If you're asking, can I be on your show?
That's not how it works, kids.
No. So on this channel, I've been talking about my personal struggles, my personal obstacles, and how I'm overcoming them, and so I wanted to ask my YouTube friends, like, how old are you now?
27. I'll be 28 in a few days.
Fun. Happy almost birthday.
Thank you.
Fellow Gemini.
No.
Cancer.
Yes.
On the cusp.
Yes.
On the cusp. Yes, he's very different. He's like, no, I'm not a Gemini. No.
I don't know what it means.
No. So, like, when you think of your life in the last 20, almost 7 years, like, what have been your biggest challenges and struggles, and how did you overcome them, or are you currently overcoming them? What would you think?
Okay, biggest challenges and struggles. Well, honestly, finding myself was a big challenge. When I was in high school, I was very, very awkward. Middle school, high school, awkward, and I'm not gonna say like I got bullied every day, but it was more like I just didn't know I didn't know who I was, and it took me a very long time to figure out that, you know, I really liked math, so I thought I was going to be an engineer. I really thought I was going to be an engineer, or at least an astronomer. I used to have an obsession and a fascination with the planets in outer space, and memorizing diameters of the sun and all the planets and all that crap. But something happened. I got the writing bug in high school. I loved writing short stories and writing scripts, and my sister told me once, like, maybe you could be a screenwriter, you know, or maybe you could be a screenwriter. Is that right? Like,
a screenwriter.
I'm like,
yeah,
I'm blanking out.
That's it. The Academy Award for screenwriting goes to Jack. Yeah.
Just when I said it out loud, it didn't sound right. But and that's when everything changed. I was like, you know what? I'm going to get into film.
And how old were you?
I was 17. I'm going to say 17 or 18 when I decided this is what I want to do, not so much the math stuff.
But did it stress you out when you were young that you didn't know what you wanted to do? Because I think most 16, 15, 14-year-olds, I mean, if you know what you want to do at 13, 14, I mean, you change your mind at 17, you might change your mind again at 30.
That's true, and it doesn't sound like a big deal, but this is also
an internal struggle.
Right. It was an internal struggle, and also this is the part of my life, or everyone's life, where they have to apply to colleges and stuff, and when you apply to a college, you have to think, like, what am I going to major in? What's my minor going to be?
Waste 4 years doing engineering if I'm not going to be an engineer.
And I was like, what do I do? I don't know what I want to do. But that's when I realized major in film and minor in music.
It's a very adult decision to ask a 15, 16, 17-year-old to say pick something and spend, hundreds of thousands of dollars wishing to pursue it. So
it's just a lot of pressure.
You know, it is.
Yeah.
But it's interesting what you're saying is it's funny how sometimes one person, one statement, and this is when you have to be really aware of the universe telling you things. Sometimes one person, your sister said, why don't you this? And it clicks in your brain, you never look back. So it's like that's very intuitive, and that's a good lesson for all of us too. It's like be aware of what, things aren't accidental, and when someone says something to you, it's like, oh, and when it clicks in your brain, follow through with that instinct that's like something told you right away, oh, that's a good idea.
Totally.
And you pursued that. As a grown-up now at almost 27, what are your current biggest fears and how can you get past them? I mean, we all have different little things, but what is the thing at night you're kind of like, oh shit, what's on your brain right now?
It's honestly, it's an obsession. It's always the channel. The channel's always staying relevant. Yeah. I've been on YouTube for 10 years. Yeah. My 10-year anniversary is literally this Sunday.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you very much.
That's exciting.
What is yours?
It's 10 years, May of 2016. Yeah, May 1st.
May.
2006.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah,
Sorry, we're both decades.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's the battle and the struggle of staying relevant. Yeah. Why should people care about me 10 years later? And it's just playing the game. It's a game. It's like the YouTube game. It's hopping on bandwagon trends, but also making fun of them if you can, and just paying attention to people who are relevant. What are they doing?
Right.
And how can you if something's not working,
right?
Something, and you can relate. When you put all this effort and shit in a video and you upload it and you're really proud of it,
and it doesn't get
the feedback you want, doesn't get the attention or the views you want it to, and so you think, what am I doing wrong and what is he doing right? That's one of my biggest challenges today is, what is he doing right? I obsess over other people's success constantly, and it's not healthy.
There's a book I'm going to recommend to you. It's called The New Psycho Cybernetics, and it talks about how when I look at people, I look at you, you're the best Jack Douglas possible. There's Tyler Oakley, the best Tyler Oakley. There's Grace Helbig, the best Grace Helbig. There's George Clooney, the best George Clooney. They are in all their own lanes in life. I see what you're saying, in that you're inspired by other people. When they get good views or they have a good thing, you're like, good for you. So the key is to not be jealous or not be whatever. It's more inspired, but it's everybody's in their own lane. So once you realize I'm in my own lane, you'll never really look at anybody else's lane because it has nothing to do with your lane.
That's what I need to do.
That's a book. I recommend it.
Please
But I think that exactly, and that's, I've struggled with that because I talk about it all the time on this channel. I was a YouTube star 2007 to 2012, and I don't get the views anymore, and so it's I'm at the point that I don't want to say I'm okay with it, but that's why I made this channel, because it's I don't want the burden of the baggage of having this channel that used to get views when I can just start something fresh. And I love making videos on this channel with no expectations.
No expectations, right?
This is what I want to do. I want to talk to friends, and I want to just have normal conversations. And when you say play the YouTube game, believe me, I have a Post-it note on my computer that says play the YouTube game, because because it's a game to remind me. Sometimes you have to go for the thumbnail or the title or the jump on, like you just said, jump on the bandwagon, because that's what everybody's doing. And when I started making a living on YouTube, there was 10 of us making a living on YouTube, and now there's tens of thousands of people. Right. So the game has completely changed, and it's our job. It is a job to stay on top of the changes and change with it. So I get it. So I think every top content creator, that is the biggest fear, and so I get it. There's not much you can do about it other than just keep creating. Yeah. And that's a struggle of any creative person too, just always wanting something a little different or wanting something to be better and all that.
It's always a top of yourself game. Yes. Absolutely. It's I like that, but you can't look back.
And you're out on tour. Is that over? Tell people about your tour you did.
Tour's still going, so I'm
by the time this video goes up, it might not be going.
That's true.
But it's round 2, but tell people about the inspiration for that.
Yeah, so myself and my good buddy and ex-roommate, Sear, we're doing this tour across the country called the Great American Debate. And it's super fun because we're staging mock debates. We're hopping from city to city. We're doing East Coast, West Coast, and Detroit, and Chicago, and all sorts of places where we stage mock debates. And instead of fighting for the presidency, it's more like fighting for your subscriptions.
Hilarious.
Subscribe to me, not this douchebag, and here's why. We have rehearsed, memorized opening statements. But the real fun part is the improv part, where we pick a moderator from the audience to come up and read off questions that people in the audience wrote out. They on little slips of paper, put them in a little goldfish bowl, and and it's so much fun because it's just full of inside jokes, inside gags and stuff, just YouTube humor.
YouTube humor.
A lot of topical YouTube humor.
Well, I mean, that's awesome, and I mean, just another, as a YouTuber, you're, you know, at home making videos, and it's so just nice to take the show on the road.
Yes, exactly.
And we were just talking off camera, and I'd like to share with you, because as I've been talking about doing stand-up and stuff, and I said something that on camera recently about how, as a YouTuber, you don't really know if you're funny. I mean, you think you're funny, but you have a lot of teenagers writing, you're funny, you're hilarious, and so there's something about wanting to almost, like, really know.
Yeah.
Like, you really want an audience to laugh and be there and think you're funny.
You gotta,
so
it's a test. It's a big test. What you're doing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You should do it. You should go. We should do it. We can do it.
I'm scared.
Take
No,
it on
I'm
the road.
scared.
Take it on the road.
Okay,
Take it
we'll
on
do
the
it.
road.
We'll do it.
Yeah.
It's very scary though.
It is
a big
scary.
leap. It's
you
a
should
giant
do it
leap.
at VidCon next year. Just do like a 10-minute stand-up set.
No, you can't because it's VidCon.
That's true. I'm lying.
They're all
That's
yes
why
men.
I actually, that was my idea 2 years ago. I was like, I'll maybe do stand-up, and I was gonna do YouTube humor and make fun of like Zoella for not really writing her book, or this YouTube couple for breaking up. But then I'm like, A, they'll laugh because it's a YouTube thing, and then, or B, they just love Zoella so much they won't think it's funny at all. Like this asshole. Who's this asshole? She wrote her book. It's a dangerous prediction. Exactly. So I was like, I can't do YouTube humor in front of YouTube. Because I don't want to say they're humorless, but they're just so enamored with their favorite stars that they wouldn't think that
it's like, how dare you poke holes in my God.
Right. Like, I love tweeting at like Tyler Oakley or Shane Dawson or someone who I'm friends with and making fun of them, and then seeing the reaction. Because they think like it's one of my favorite things to publicly drag one of my YouTube friends and just be like, I'm just like, we're friends, it's funny, it's okay.
But you like the reactions.
I do.
That happens with me and PewDiePie. We'll stage battles on fake shit, and we're just pulling each other's balls, and then all of his supporters go, wow, nice, go after the guy with 40 million subs. And they don't get it. I love it. I love it.
Well, speaking of pulling balls, now's my favorite part of the show, where we just take off our Jack, I love you so much. You've been such a good friend to me over the years. I'll put links below to his information, and thank you for being with me.
This was a blast. Go get him. Thanks.
Speaking of balls.
Now it's time.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was sitting here like, this is fine. This is leisurely. I got this. Oh.